Chair, you are live.
All right, thanks, Julian. Good evening, everybody. We'll call to order the regularly scheduled meeting of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. This evening is Wednesday, October 4th, 2023, and it is 7 p.m. Board members present, we have Vice Chair Claire Conger, Dick Peterson, Ryan Chitwood. We have Deputy City Clerk Cynthia Gaines and Assistant City Attorney Joelle Braithwaite. Before we get started, this is a virtual meeting. Public can submit their comments via written testimony, which is going to be submitted in part of the official record. If the public wants to submit public testimony, they can do so by going to www.annapolis.gov/ABC. First item on our agenda tonight, we have the approval of the minutes. Is the board have the opportunity to review our minutes of our last meeting? And if so, any additions, corrections, or modifications?
I move they be approved.
Second.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 The minutes will stand as approved. So with that, we will declare the public hearing open. We have one item on our public hearing agenda tonight, which is an application for a new alcoholic beverage license, a Class B2 beer, wine, and liquor on sale 6 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week with a special Sunday license by Stuart Greenfield, and I'm going to butcher this name. I'm going to say Mr. or Miss Chen for the premises known as Teriyaki House LLC, trading as Teriyaki House, located at 103B to 105 Main Street, Annapolis 21401. We'll wait for a minute to pull everybody together. I know council's here on this one too.
Hello,
Hi, Miss Chen. How are you?
I'm okay. Good evening.
Good evening. And I see we have Ms. Gu here also. Ms. Gu, if you could turn your camera on as well.
Hi,
Great.
good evening, commissioners. Can you see me? I'm not good at this stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're doing great right now. We can see you and we can hear you. Is Mr. Greenfield going to be appearing tonight too?
He is here, Mr. Chair. He's not coming forward yet. I'm not sure why.
Okay. We'll give it a second for Mr. Greenfield to come through.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Greenfield, can you turn your camera on?
So, Mr. Greenfield, you need to say yes when asked to join,
Yes.
join as a panelist. No.
I'm going as a panelist.
Yeah, click that. Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Very good. You got me now?
Perfect. We gotcha. All right. I'm going to ask everybody who's going to testify. So that would be Mr. Greenfield and Ms. Chen to raise your right hand, and I'm going to administer the oath. Okay.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalties of perjury that the responses you are about to give will be true and correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. And Ms. Chen, can you give us your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Chongju Chen. The address is 105 Main Street, Annapolis 21401.
Great, thank you. Mr. Greenfield, same thing, please.
Stuart Greenfield, 264 Providence Road, Annapolis, Maryland 21409.
All right, thank you. And then Ms. Gu, I'm going to turn it over to you. If you could just put your name and address on the record and then go ahead and begin your presentation, okay?
Okay, good evening, Board of Commissioners. My name is Yu Gu, counsel for applicants Teriyaki House. And my address, office address is 10303 Potomac Corner Drive, Rockville, Maryland 20850. And tonight, I will be focusing on the Maryland Alcoholic Beverage Code annotated section 4, 210A, 6 elements about why my client's application for alcoholic beverage license should be approved. The first one, under A, is the public need and the desire for the license. There is a public need and a desire for the license. The applicant is a Japanese cuisine restaurant located at 103B to 105 Main Street, Annapolis, and primarily focuses on teriyaki service. Teriyaki is a cooking technique used in Japanese cuisine. The applicant was open for business on or about December 8th, 2022. The former restaurant owner on this location also once owned a B2 alcoholic beverage license. Since the opening in December 2022, many customers have been asking for service of alcoholic beverages along with their meals. Unfortunately, the applicant could not satisfy their customers' need as they do not possess an alcoholic beverage license. The substantial need for alcoholic beverage service prompts the applicant to submit this application for an alcoholic beverage license. And under section 4210A, the next three factors to be considered is the number and the location of existing license holders, the potential effect on existing license holders of the license for which application is made, the potential commonality or uniqueness of the services and the products to be offered by the business.
Yeah, I'm on a meeting.
Sorry.
I will explain these three factors together. The applicant is located at a commercial area, attracting about millions of tourists every year. Diversified restaurants are one of the most well-known features in Annapolis, particularly the restaurants on Main Street, where every single tourist will not miss. According to alcoholic beverage licenses published by the city as of August 3rd, 2023, there are about 11 restaurants on Main Street, in addition to to my client, to the applicant. Among those 11 restaurants, 8 of them hold B4X license, sales between the hours of 6 a.m. to 2 a.m., 7 days a week. The applicant is applying for a B2 license, sales with meal only between the hours of 6 a.m. and 12 midnight, 7 days a week. However, the applicant's actual longest business hour is from 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Further, among those 11 restaurants, only 2 restaurants whose style are close to the applicants. One of them is Joe's Cafe and Sushi Bar, and the other is Nano Asian Dining. They both primarily serve sushi food, while the applicant primarily serves teriyaki food. The uniqueness of service provided by the applicant and their actual business hours demonstrate that approval of their license will not cause any adverse effect on existing licenses nearby. Instead, the approval of license will attract more tourists and generate more revenue for the benefit of the local government and the welfare of the community. And the fifth factor under section 4210A is the impact of the license for which application is made on the health, safety, and welfare of the community, including issues relating to crime, traffic, parking, or convenience. For that factor, based on the information I have, I did some research. The city has provided a sufficient parking capacity for the tourists, which is a short walking distance to the main street. And I personally parked in that parking garage, I think at least for 3 times for my private visit to the main street. And the walking distance is really short, and the parking capacity is very generous, I would say. And the city police also regularly patrol on the street, particularly at night. That is based on the information my client provided for me. The applicant has relatively short business hours compared to other restaurants on the same street. And the B2 license for which they apply for restricts them to serve alcoholic beverage only with meals. All these facts show that the approval of their license will cause nothing adverse relating to crime, traffic, or parking, but only provide convenience to the welfare of the local community. And I also checked the grounds for denial of license under the same section, section 4.210B. And I see neither of them apply to this case. The first one is the granting of the license is not necessary to accommodate the public. As I argued at the beginning, there is a public need and a desire of the license. So I think it is necessary to accommodate the public. And I did not see, based on the documents I have, that the applicant is not a fit person to receive the license. I didn't see that. And of course, you know, the final, I think one factor is about their fingerprint. I don't know that result yet. Okay, if the fingerprint is approved, I think I didn't see any other reason why this application should not be approved. And the third element is the applicant has made a material false statement in the application. As all commissioners have reviewed this application package, I provided 11 copies. I think, you know, the statement, all statements in the application are true, and the applicants, they signed under the penalties of perjury. And fourth is the applicant has acted fraudulently in connection with the application. I didn't see any evidence, you know, or anything could, you know, even related to this claim. And the last thing is, if the license is issued, the operation authorized by the license would unduly disturb the peace of the residents of the neighborhood, of the location described in the application. I think, you know, so far from my side, I didn't receive any claim like this. And we also, you know, there's a public notice advertised on the local newspaper. Such information is not, you know, within my knowledge. So based on the laws about elements required to be considered to approve the application, and elements required to be considered to deny the application, I respectfully request that, you know, the board could approve my client's application for alcoholic beverage license because they meet the statutory requirement. And I think my presentation is going to be here. Unless you need more information from me, I would be happy to reply. Thank you, commissioners.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gu. I appreciate it. I truly appreciate you going into the factors outlined in 4210. because this board has issued a license for that establishment, I think your argument that, we've previously found a public need for a license at that establishment certainly holds water. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions, and then we're going to see if the board has any questions as well. And these questions are either addressed to Ms. Chen, Mr. Greenfield, or to you. So any one of you can answer. Ms. Chen, I'll start with you, actually. I note that this is your first time applying for an alcoholic beverage license, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. Now, have you been in the process or in the business of serving alcohol in the past?
Yes, I've been I was working like waitress like a couple years. I have this experience. Yes.
Okay. And I guess this is your business, Mr. Greenfield, serving as a qualifying applicant to help you get this license, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. And have you decided what kind of carding procedures or policies you're going to implement if the board grants the license? Do you know how you're going to ID people? Are you going to plan on IDing people who look to be under the age of 30? I'm just trying to kind of get a lay of the land here.
Oh, we did check our like waitress, and then we will double check, always make sure that it's 21 to get the drinks.
Okay. Yeah. When in doubt, card those people. Okay.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
never know when
Yes.
it's going to be a police officer waiting in the wings trying to get you violated. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
You shut down at 9:30 p.m., right?
Yeah, the later time, right?
Okay, gotcha. And how many employees do you have working at the restaurant?
So far right now, 5, sometimes
Okay.
4, sometimes 5. Yeah.
And are they all going to be serving alcoholic beverages?
Actually not. That's two of them.
Okay. And are you going to get those individuals tips trained or alcohol awareness trained, the people who are going to be serving the beer and the wine and the liquor?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Once you do that, our board always recommends that you get everybody who you're going to bring on who could potentially serve an alcoholic beverage trained. Okay. So that's something that we recommend.
Okay.
Finally, have you had the chance to see our board's rules and regulations?
You mean like?
So we've got the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board has rules and regulations that are published and found online. And I would suggest that you get with Ms. Gu if she hasn't provided you a copy of those yet, and you review them and you have the opportunity to ask Ms. Gu any questions. Okay.
Okay.
So you can get those online, and I'm sure Ms. Gu can email you a copy. She has them. I know that for a fact. She has them on her computer somewhere. So she can email you a copy of those, and you can ask any questions that you might have.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Fraley, I did.
Okay, great.
At the
Great.
beginning of the application, I emailed Ms. Chen. Do you remember? I emailed you the rules and the regulations for you to prepare for the awareness training class. You remember
Oh,
that?
yes, I got the certificate. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. I think.
Not a problem. Not a
I
problem.
got
I'm sure
nervous. Sorry.
you've looked at a lot of stuff. You've signed a lot of papers. I completely understand. So just so long as you have those and you understand that if the board grants a license tonight, you're going to be subject to those rules and regulations. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And Mr. Greenfield, I know you're not going to be part of the day-to-day operation, but you do understand that you too, as a licensee, are subject to those same requirements, right?
Yes, I am aware of that.
Okay, great. All right, well, that's all I have. Let's see if the board has any additional questions. Dick, go ahead.
Yes, I have a couple. This location, 105, what was there previously?
Perfect.
What was the previous establishment there? Do you remember?
You want me to help out with that question?
Please, Mr. Greenfield.
Yeah, because I'm wearing two hats in this scenario. I'm also
I saw that.
building. Yes, there was another. It was a sushi / teriyaki restaurant there, and they actually purchased the business, Mrs. Chen. So it has been a Asian restaurant for oh gosh, at least 10 years.
You're located next to Hats in the Belfry, right?
Ms.
Everybody
Chen?
knows it's not.
Okay, yes.
Now, are you really going to close at 9:30 on weekends?
Yes, right now. Yes.
You're sure?
Yes, now. Yes.
Okay. That's all the questions I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thanks, Dick. Any other questions about this application?
Are you going to require all of your employees to be tips certified?
Tip server.
Alcohol awareness.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she said that there are going to be 2 individuals who are who are going to be serving alcohol, and they're both going to be tips certified if they aren't already. Any other questions regarding this application?
I think we're done.
Okay, hearing none. Do I hear a motion regarding this application for?
So moved.
Oh, perfect. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right,
second.
all those in favor say aye.
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 All right, your request is granted. Thanks for being here tonight, guys. Appreciate it. Good
Thank
luck.
you all.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you very much.
it. Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we'll declare our public hearing closed. We'll open up the disciplinary hearing. We've got one matter on our disciplinary hearing tonight. This is a violation by GAMD Lessee LLC Trading as the Graduate Hotel. In accordance with the alcoholic beverages article of the annotated code of Maryland, the Annapolis Charter and Code, and the rules and regulations of this board, this disciplinary hearing is in connection with infraction citation 23-12004, alleging the sale or providing of alcoholic beverages to individuals under the age of 21. And I see we have Ms. Carter here. Hi, Ms. Carter, how are you?
I would be better if I were here for some other matter.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for asking, Mr. Chair.
Not a problem. All right, we've got a bunch of people who are joining us here tonight.
Yeah, I think I'm waiting for one more potential witness,
Okay.
Kathleen Flaherty. Kathleen, are you there?
I don't think yet.
He is
Okay,
here.
well,
Give me
that's-
1 second.
Yeah, she's got a waving hand here.
My screen has just done something very odd. I don't understand it.
I believe
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Julian, someone is sharing. I don't believe they
Okay.
intend to share.
Yeah.
I promise it wasn't me because I don't know how.
All right.
That's and I know I saw Jan a minute ago.
Yeah, I see him right there.
There you are. Thank you. And
Oh,
my
there's
required
Kathleen.
witnesses are here, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, great. What I'm going to do, everybody who plans on testifying, please raise your right hand. I'm going to administer the oath really quickly. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the penalties of perjury that the responses you're about to give will be true and correct?
I do.
Okay. We have affirmative yeses from everybody. Ms. Carter, I know that you're kind of wearing 2 hats tonight. You are a licensee and you are serving as counsel. What I'll have you do is introduce everybody who's here for you. I'm also going to need to get the officers' name and addresses for the record. So I'm going to do that
Absolutely.
first. Then if you can get everybody to put their name and address on for the record, then we'll turn it over to you for your presentation. So Ms. Fitzpatrick, if you could give us your name and address for the record, please.
Yep, Sergeant David Fitzpatrick, 199 Taylor Avenue, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
Okay, and I see we have Corporal Schreck here too. Just name and
Yes,
address
sir.
for the record, sir.
Yes, name is Brett Schreck, address 199 Taylor Avenue, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
Okay, great. And then Eric Newton. Ms. Carter, is Mr. Newton with you or is he with?
I'm not familiar with that name.
Yama
Okay.
Corporate Annapolis, please.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, Ms. Carter, I'll just ask you before we get everybody's address. Is this going to be an admission to the violation?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. So with that, we will just note that the city's report will serve as the city's evidence in this case. Then I'll have you introduce yourself, and you can introduce Jan and Kathleen as well, and just get everybody to put their address on the record, and then take it away. Okay.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Mr. Chairman. My home address for the purposes of serving as a licensee in connection with this license is 390 Gamble Oak Court, Millersville, Maryland, 21108. My professional address in my other hat is Carter Law LLC, 11720 Beltsville Drive, Suite 100, Beltsville, Maryland, 20705. Jan?
Evening, Jan Hayek. My home address is 530 North Levitt Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60612.
Kathleen?
Good evening. My home address is 250 North Street, Unit 4 in Boston, Massachusetts, 02113.
And for the record, Mr. Chairman, you all may remember Jan is the other licensee along with me in connection with this application. Kathleen is the Regional Vice President of Ops. First and foremost, I would like to apologize to the board for two things. First, we filed our rather lengthy exhibits rather late, and we really appreciate Cindy's working with us in connection with that. We could have filed this piecemeal, and I actually made the decision not to because my clients and I had a very serious heart-to-heart. This violation was not taken lightly by anybody, certainly not by me. And I will tell you, these clients got it. And from the minute this violation occurred, we have collectively been working on putting together a very comprehensive plan so that there is no repeat performance. As my clients are aware, there's no margin for error, okay? We've had our bite. This is it. And so to that end, we have, my book is orange, yours is, I know, online. If I could, I'd like to move these exhibits collectively into the record as licensees exhibit number 1. Now,
Sure.
There's a whole lot of information in this. Some of it is only tangentially related, but some of it is really goes to the heart of why we're here tonight. We can't undo what happened, but we can certainly make sure it doesn't happen again. And that is the goal of my clients and myself. And I will tell you, I've worked with a lot of clients over the years, and the level of cooperation that I have received from the Graduate Hotel, their management and their corporate hierarchy has been amazing. They get it. And unfortunately, and you know, and Mr. Chairman, you may have seen this because I know you serve on in connection with another board as well. A lot of times the businesses that don't routinely have to deal with the underaged are the ones that are most likely to commit a violation in a compliance check because they're complacent. They're used to people my age coming in, and when they get somebody who's 19, they don't think about it. Well, we need to change that because 19-year-olds, unfortunately, not just with compliance checks, and we don't know of any 19-year-old or 20-year-old that's ever been served in our establishment, but for the compliance checks. But it can happen. So we need to make sure that our staff is aware that it cannot happen. So I'm not going to go through every single one of the tabs in this exhibit, but if I could draw your attention first to tab number 6, which is the Trophy Room Training Manual. The Trophy Room is the restaurant and bar that is the primary place where people that aren't staying in the hotel would go. This is where the guests come in to have a drink or a bite to eat. In the trophy training manual, the very, very first thing that appears in training is alcohol awareness. At tab 14, we have a list of all of the employees in the hotel. Starting on page 3 to 5 of that tab are a list of the employees that are involved in food and beverage service. 2 of the employees listed are no longer with the company. 4 of the employees who are involved in food and beverage service are not permitted to have hours assigned to them until they complete the TIP certification or some other equivalent alcohol awareness program that's recognized by the state. We currently have 29 employees that are involved in different aspects of food and beverage, whether it be in the trophy room or the banquet or the meeting rooms. All 29 have valid certifications. At tab 15, we've provided you with copies of the various tips and training certificates for these employees. It doesn't matter if an employee is trained or not. If they don't remember, it doesn't do us any good. It doesn't do graduate any good. It doesn't do this board any good. So we've implemented some policies which we are hoping are going to be foolproof so that it makes it impossible for our employee not to do what they're supposed to do. And first, at tab 16 is a statement that every employee is required to sign that basically says, I will check an ID for every patron that orders alcohol across the board. That means if I go in, I'm going to be carded. If my 30-year-old daughter goes in, she's going to be carded. And hopefully, when that next compliance check occurs, and it will occur, that kid is going to be carded. Now, carding is multi-process. First thing is they look at the picture. Does the picture match the person who is presenting the ID? Then they're going to look at the birth date. If it's vertical, it's not going to be accepted. Once those 2 things have happened, then every employee in the trophy room is going to have access, and there's more information on this later in the exhibits, on a handheld scanning device. And there will be an ID check, and the scan can only be overridden by a manager. An individual wait staff person will not have the authority to override anything that comes up. If it doesn't scan, the server can't override it. If it scans improperly, the server can't override it, and the server can't put in a birth date. Only that can be done by a manager. So it would be a 2-step process. In addition, so every employee signs this now, but we need something better than that because employees have to be reminded, quite frankly, on a daily basis. So when they punch in, they also sign what's at Exhibit 17, which is the Daily Alcohol Server Acknowledgement Tracker. Prior to the beginning of their shift, each associate who has the potential to serve alcohol needs to complete the form below to document their commitment to following all guidelines as described in the TIPS on-premise alcohol service training. By signing below, the employee acknowledges he'll check every ID for every patron that orders alcohol, that the server is up to date on his TIP certification, and understands that failure to abide by the rules, not if they get caught, but if they fail to do what graduate is requiring of them, they will be terminated. No more bites of the apple. You make a mistake, you fail to follow the policy of Graduate Hotel, and you will be terminated. 18 is outlines the scanning procedures and also contains a statement that is signed by each of the employees saying that they understand what is required of them in connection with the scanning device. At 19, we have pictures that have been posted throughout the premises. Now, these pictures serve two purposes. They obviously tell the outside world that we're going to do this, but it's also a reminder to the employees. And, you know, to be blunt, the employee is always our weakest link. And so we need to make sure that the employees are not a weak link, that they understand that this is their obligation and they're going to move forward. At 20, we have the information regarding the scanning. And I will tell you, getting this installed has proven to be a challenge, right, Kathleen? Right, Kathleen? Just getting it and getting it installed and getting it operational took a whole lot longer than what I think any of us ever envisioned that it would. Excuse me. One of the other things that's not in here, but the HR department is looking at is setting up a bonus program. So if an employee, right now, in the hospitality industry, it is not to the advantage of a server to stop a sale because they lose tip. So we need to change that mentality. And the easiest way to do that is to give a bonus to an employee that stops a sale. They're not losing any money. They have an impetus to do it right. And we're hoping that between that and the scanning and the 100% tip certification and the constant daily reminders from F&B, food and beverage, that there just can't be any more violations. We also have adopted, and I think I said this earlier, and if I did, I apologize. We have also adopted a zero tolerance. You breach our policy, you will be terminated, or at least removed from an F&B position. You may be offered a job in the kitchen, or a job, cleaning bedrooms, but you're not going to be in F&B. We can't afford to have people that aren't willing to abide by the rules. So the Graduate Hotel, and part of what we provided you with is, and Cindy, you're going to be very happy that I didn't send you another set of exhibits. The Graduate Hotel is an integral part of the community. In September, it had hosted 321 events. And Kathleen, if my numbers are wrong, please correct me, but that's what I counted on these sheets. In October,
thank you for counting.
In October, we've got 299 scheduled. Now, that includes breakfasts and meetings, but it also includes weddings and banquets and that type of thing. Graduate is part of the community. It's certainly part of the Naval Academy community. I know from time to time, there are reunions, Naval Academy reunions held there. And a Graduate recognizes the value of being able to offer its customers an alcoholic beverage. Now, in total F&B sales, alcohol is only 26% of the total F&B revenues. So it's not where we're making our money, but it certainly allows us to be a full service venue for the community. We're open to questions.
All right, well, Ms. Carter.
Ms. Carter, real quick, did you, is there a reason why you wanted the 3 police officers? Are you contesting what happened?
Oh, no, and I didn't know they were going to be here.
Okay, is there, Chairman, is there any way if there, and Mr. Joel, maybe you can chime in on this, there's a lot of crime in Annapolis going on right now. I don't think it's the best use of these three gentlemen's time to be sitting in this if there's no contention. Obviously, you have the right for them to be here, and we're
Oh,
fine
no.
with that.
Oh, no,
But
they
if
can
there's
leave.
if there's no need for them to be here, I think we need to get them back on the streets of Annapolis and fight violent crime.
Absolutely. And officers, thank you. We appreciate your service and please be safe.
It's our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
Take care.
joining, guys.
Anytime, sir.
Okay.
Sorry, I just
No,
thought
I appreciate that.
it,
And I
wasn't
didn't,
it wasn't the best use of their time, just knowing some of the current climate in
yeah,
within the city.
unfortunately,
limits.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, we like to keep them here in case the applicant or in case the licensee has any questions of the officers. So, you know, with no questions, then we're good. So thanks for bringing that up. Dick, go ahead.
No, I thank you for going through all your rules and regulations. I'm a little disappointed that you don't have anybody from your local establishment here other than you, so that they can be hearing this also. And I was just going to point out the fact that you had a sergeant and two corporals here, you know, is, you know, to me, kind of serious. So, you know, I would just implore you to make sure that it's fine that you've got all of the rules established in writing, but make sure that they hear it in person, and that your manager on duty goes over this every day.
I've
I'm
been
done.
working very closely with a team of there were 12 people, I think, on this on these email chains, and they included people from the hotel locally. It also included people up the corporate ladder because corporate took this very seriously.
Corporate's always going to take it seriously, but I think locally is what's the most important.
I think we've
And
gotten the message through.
the local people can only follow the rules and regulations of the city of Annapolis. So, you know, somebody from Chicago and Boston, you know, I'm happy to see them, but let's make sure that the local people are trained and know what to do.
And Kathleen, that's your job, right?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Yeah, that was the question I was going to have for Kathleen. How often are you on the property, or how often do you visit the property?
Absolutely. It's nice to meet you. Good evening to everyone. So I have been spending a substantial amount of time at our general manager position has opened in the last several weeks. So I've been in the process of filling that and reestablishing our leadership team and spending a great deal of time in the beautiful city of Annapolis, which I've really enjoyed. In that time, I've spent a great deal of time with our director of food and beverage, as well as our supervisors drilling this home, talking about this. I've joined them for morning meetings, for pre-meal in the evenings, pre-banquet events, functions, banquet and BEO meetings, F&B meetings, morning meetings, you name it. I've been there in the last several weeks, spending time with them, talking about this every single chance that we get with the team, including spending my own time in the evenings when I wrap up in the bar and restaurant establishments, ensuring that I'm watching with my own two eyes that they're hearing and answering any questions they have about the processes and how seriously we're taking this as we onboard new leadership for a permanent role into the property. Again, we will ensure that this poll is passed along to them, and they are taking this as seriously as we do. That is completely our expectation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my only point would be, you know, and you all know this, you know, you've outlined, you know, you're putting all the policies and procedures in place. It's the time of year in Annapolis where it's Navy football games, it's boat show, it's a lot of families coming through. Obviously, you know, maybe more heightened, and we all need to be more heightened now than say February. You know, we should always be aware and what's going on, but you're seeing a huge volume of people traveling through the city, and your hotel and your restaurant.
Absolutely. I mean, Kathleen, what's the occupancy rate for this hotel? It's like 85. I think I saw.
Over the average of the year, yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes, over the course of the full year, yes.
which is, as you all know, in this business is substantial because we are a year-round property. We don't have, well, sure, obviously June week we're at 110% capacity, and there are weeks that may be lower. 85% average is just huge for this industry.
Yeah.
All right, any additional questions on this violation?
I have none.
Okay.
I don't think so.
With no additional questions, we appreciate everybody being here tonight. The board will confer on this matter and we'll render a decision before our next meeting. You'll get something in the mail from us, okay?
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And again, as much as I love being before this board, I didn't like being before this board in connection with this. And I hope to see you all soon, but not in connection with the violation.
See you, Ms. Carter. Thank you.
Y'all have a great and safe evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will then declare our disciplinary hearing closed and we'll turn to some new business. We've got a written request for a 180-day extension for the pickup of an approved alcoholic beverage license for Iron Rooster LLC, trading as Iron Rooster, 12 to 18 Market Space, Annapolis 21401. Original pickup date, October 1st. We're going to try to extend that to April 1st, 2024. If the board's so inclined. I see Mr. Dale's here tonight, Mr. Werner, Miss Black. If we can get everybody to turn their camera on. There we go. Mr. Werner, are you there? Good. All right. Can you, you're muted.
Yeah, my wife and I are both here.
Perfect. And Miss Black, can you hear us?
You're muted.
Heather,
Okay,
you
yep,
turn
I
mine
hear
off.
you.
Okay.
Great. All right. If I could just get everybody to put their name and address on the record, then we'll turn it over to Mr. Dales, who can do the same, and then go ahead with your presentation. Okay.
Carl Warner, 423 Schoolers Pond Way, Arnold, Maryland, 21012.
Vicky Warner, 423 Schoolers Pond Way, Arnold, Maryland, 21012.
Heather Black, 428 Manor Road, Arnold, Maryland, 21012.
Okay.
Good evening,
Dales?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Phil Dales, 238 West Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. I will just sort of explain our need for an extension here, and if the board and council don't have any questions for us, then I think we would make this really quick and rest there and let you all deliberate and make a motion. We are asking for this extension because this is a license in a historic building in downtown. It's really just an expansion of a currently operating existing license. And as you all know, sometimes construction in the downtown historic buildings can come with complications. Right now, we're working on agreements and easements with the city for fire safety associated with openings between the walls of these sort of technically separate buildings that are all going to be part of the same licensed premises. And the need to figure that out, negotiate it, is what's held up issuance of a building permit to go in and construct this new space and let us open, get the use permit, and expand the license. So I think that's really the key fact here. And if there are no questions, then we would rest with that.
All right. I think this board is well versed in construction issues, especially with historic buildings. Phil, you want the full 6 months to April 1st, 2024?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, please.
Phil, do you think you need it, or are you going to use it?
We hope not, but we might as well ask for it because we get two of them.
Yeah, it's better.
I mean, I think fire safety is paramount, so I move we approve.
I'll second that.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it. And the
you.
board, have a great evening.
Good luck.
All right. Next, we have a request for an extension of licensed premises during a special event for the Maryland Avenue State Circle Festival by Galway Bay. This is Saturday, October 27, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., 61 to 63 Maryland Avenue, Annapolis 21401. I see Mr. Lynch and Mr. Clark are both here. If we could get cameras on for you gentlemen, and I'll just ask you to put your names and addresses on for the record, and you can go ahead and begin your presentation.
Hi.
My name is,
Go ahead, Sean.
my name is Sean Lynch. I'm the general manager of Galway Bay. I live at 52 Maryland Avenue.
All right, Mr. Clark.
Hi, good evening, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Anthony Clark. I'm one of the co-owners of Galway Bay and the licensee. And my Annapolis address is 580 West Central Avenue, Davidsonville, Maryland, 21035.
All right, go ahead and tell us a little bit about this event.
If I could start, excuse me, I'm at my son's football game, but I knew it was on. I was able to keep track of when you were coming on. This is something we've done every time there's been a fall festival or a spring festival. And of course, with COVID, they've kind of been haphazard in the dates that we've had them for. We did a very successful one last year, and it's all organized by the Maryland Avenue State Circle Association. All the businesses get together there, and from the association, invite vendors and create a really good family atmosphere. We're the only kind of anchor on Maryland Avenue, with the exception of Harry Brown's on State Circle. And since we've been there at Galway Bay since opening in 1998, we've always operated with an extension outside the premises of Galway Bay to kind of be an anchor in the middle of the festival itself, providing live music in the center. But even with the festival now, it's broadened and they've stretched some of the music down at different times and entertainment. And we provide table seating, which is guarded by our planters. I don't know if you've seen the amount of the large plants that we have outside Galway Bay, and they're very large. So we're able to section off our outside area, the front area, create a nice ambient seated plan. And it's controlled by our host stand, which is directly on the street. So nobody actually comes into Galway Bay or the patio that we create without going past the host stand there. All beverages and food at the tables in the patio are served by our trained servers, who are all tip certified as well, and controlled by the manager's access. So we seat inside and outside, and then it's all broken down by 5 o'clock when everything comes back to normal. And I just asked Sean to add, Sean's operated this since 1998 as well as the general manager on duty. And it's never been but a good family occasion.
Yeah, we control, all our management staff will be on that day in addition to the servers. They've all been warned, and they know the story with people coming onto the property with alcohol from outside, but then also they know nobody can leave the property with anything in their hands. And obviously, as Anthony said, it's a sit down area. We may have high top tables out there, but they will have stools with them for those people. We will have music out there as well. So it's not going to be excessively large. It will be more than adequate for the day. And obviously, we hope that the weather is good for us too.
All right. Well, we hope it's good too. You guys have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'm very familiar with this event. And Anthony, you have a real jewel on Sean there. So I move that we approve.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, your request is granted. Have fun, guys. Anthony, get back to that football game.
Thanks very much.
But I didn't get to do tab 20. I only was on tab 1.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye. All right, next up, we have a request for an open to the public event number 1 by the Severn Sailing Association for the J24 East Coast Championship, scheduled for Thursday, October 19th, 8 p.m., Friday, October 20th from 4 to 10 p.m., Saturday, October 21st from 4 to 10 p.m. and Sunday, the 22nd of October from 3 to 6 at 311, 315 First Street, Annapolis, 21403. Mr. Rich, if you could just give us your name and address for the record and go ahead and tell us about the East Coast this year.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Peter Rich. My address is 1146 Mainsail Drive, Annapolis, Maryland, 21403. Severn Sailing Association has been hosting the East Coast Championships for over 40 years now. We have sailors come from up and down the East Coast, Florida, Rhode Island, Maine, and a lot of them come back every year. They really enjoy the event. A lot of that is the social aspects of it, and we traditionally for at least 20 years or so have been having a beer trailer in addition to SSA's bar facilities that they have there, and we have it staffed by trained people associated with the liquor license at SSA. We hire them to help staff it. We give out wristbands during registration. Most of the fleet, it's keelboat fleet, so most of the people racing are over 21, probably 95+% of them. I wish there were more younger people, but we certainly take care that we would not ever serve anybody under 21 if they are sailing at the event. And I think that's about what I tell you every year. So if you have any questions, let me know.
No, I think the board's really familiar with this event. No issues in the past. You guys do the same thing year after year. So let's see. Does the board have any questions?
I move we approve, Mr. Chairman.
I second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Enjoy the beer truck again.
Good luck, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I need it. Bye.
All right, and last on our agenda this evening before an executive session is an application for a special Class C one-day license for beer, wine, and liquor, including live music, for the Organization of Hispanic and Latin Americans of Anne Arundel County, Inc. for a Day of the Dead Festival, Saturday, October 28th, 2023, from 2 to 9 p.m. at 801 Chase Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. All right. Got a couple people here tonight. I'm just going to ask everybody to unmute themselves so we can get names and addresses for the record.
Okay, I'll start.
Yep.
My name is Laura Gutierrez. My address is 445 Doden Road, Davidsonville, Maryland, 21035.
All right, Mr. Coughlin, if you could do the same.
Yep, Dennis Coughlin, 801 Chase Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
All right, and then we have a Mr. or Miss Bolivar Hernandez. If we could get you to unmute and just give us names and addresses, please.
Yeah, so Mr. Chair, there is something for it now.
Okay, thank you.
Ismeña, que digas tu nombre y dirección. Sorry, she translation there.
Oh, no, not a problem.
And Laura, maybe to turn the camera on.
My name is Ismenia Bolivar. The OC of the city of Annapolis. My address is the 2001 Harvard Road, Dondon, Maryland, 21222.
Great, and then last but not least.
Muted.
Yeah, Mr. or Miss Hernandez.
I will text her. That is Ivis Hernandez. She was in the middle of dinner.
Oh, that's right.
Hey,
there she is.
I'm here. I was actually talking, but and sorry. Yeah, I'm eating, but my name is Ivis Hernandez. I live in 1072 Cedar Bridgeport, Annapolis, Maryland, 21403.
Okay,
And,
great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Go back to eating for now. Just go ahead and tell me about the Day of the Dead Festival this year. Whoever wants to go ahead and present.
All right, so we're doing the 5th anniversary of the Day of the Dead Festival at Maryland Hall. It's our 3rd year at Maryland Hall. We're excited to be able to do it there. It's going to be sort of same format as always, a couple less vendors because there's a different spacing this year. A big event, cultural event for the Hispanic community that celebrates the Day of the Dead. There will be local Latin American artisans and some from the county, music, our beer and wine tent, and crafts and activities for kids that the Chesapeake Children's Museum always sets up. And yeah, I think that's about it.
All right, pretty much the same setup as last year.
Same setup as last year, yeah.
All right, no issues. The past couple of years you've done this?
No issues.
Okay. All right, any questions from the board?
I move we approve, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, your request is granted. Thanks for being here tonight and good luck with the event, all right?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good luck. Good night, Dennis.
Good night.
Thank
Y'all have a safe weekend.
See you next month.
All right.
All right, got a couple of things to discuss in an executive session, including the violations. So I would make a motion that we adjourn and reconvene in an executive session.
So moved.
Second.